Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping back down into the charts for Bitcoin, see what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you have not yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, whether that is bear market strategies through to project reviews and trading, why not check out the Patreon services as well in the description below. Okay, let's get into this, right? Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the hourly chart and Binance is our data source. As I was kind of talking about yesterday, we have the 5-wave move coming down. Now, technically, we could argue this is done. I don't think really this one wick down here is really what we're looking for. I think we need a little bit more from the space here to kind of see this. Now, obviously, we just wicked into my little yellow box that I did yesterday. This is basically targeting 34,900 to 35,300 before some kind of bounce. So I'm expecting us to come into this area a little bit more than we have done already. And then start to move on up. But it is possible that this one little wick here actually takes care of the technical requirements for that fifth wave. Okay, so we could argue that there is your fifth wave done. But we aren't following good structure anyway, so for the most part, I'm not expecting this to be really done just yet. So when we take a look at the stochastic RSI, we've got a little bit more to push up. So we could argue that maybe we've got some kind of weird fourth wave correction going on here. Maybe we'll push up a little bit here before we pull back down of significance. We'll find out in due course, of course, to see whether or not this is going to be marking up as our fifth wave, which it is possible. It just doesn't really follow any decent structure. With, of course, that being said, though, the actual kind of targets that we had previously were 34,400 through to 34,800. These are C waves on a macro scale. If we bring that back up, you can kind of see here and that basically we've got this one to A, B, and C move. Okay, this 5-wave move effectively is a C wave in itself. Okay, and all of that larger A, B, and C is a C wave in itself from a much larger pullback that we were at the $48,000 range. Okay, so this pretty much since $48,000, I've been saying we're likely to pull back down towards 32. Now this has actually changed a little bit. Okay, let me just remove the stochastic because something happened that was not according to what I was thinking. Right, it's kind of thrown things out ever so slightly. Okay, so one of the things that I was thinking with Bitcoin was that we'd push down to 36k. Okay, so we'd go and basically go $36,000. Okay, then we'd go to $40,000, and then we'd go to $34,000. Okay, that was kind of the pattern that I had in my head, and that's what this yellow box symbol here. This is basically $36,000. That's where I was aiming. Instead, we kind of really barely hit this area of about 37.5, which is fine. Again, it was the upper range of the box, but not exactly where I was aiming. And then we went up to $40,000. So instead, what actually happened here was $40,000, then $36,000. So are we going to go to 34 or are we going to go down lower? And because of the order of this being slightly different to what I was expecting, it does actually mean that we are likely to see something different. Okay, and as a result of that, I think we're going to go down slightly deeper than $34,000. Okay, and I have that marked up just here at 32,700. Okay, so basically this will be a slight overextension on the larger C wave in the macro play. So if I just zoom this back out a little bit, we have this this C wave here, for example, would come down into that low range, and we'd have the larger. Let me just grab the actual correct thing there. Let me just grab that one there. There we go. And we'll pull this one down as well. Okay, so this basically means that yes, we'll just probably push all the way through the $34,000 range until we hit the $32,000 range. Okay, slight overextension on the C waves, but nothing too major. And effectively, that should be a good reversal point. And the only reason for this is the fact that we actually hit the $40,000 after sorry, before we hit the 36,000. If it was the other way around, I think $34,000 would have been valid. So I'm going to remove the 34,000, and we're going to focus in now on our $32,000 range, okay? Because this is the one that's really important to us. I'll also now remove these yellow boxes because we don't need these, and I'll just remove these ranges as well. Okay, so we're working quite nicely here, you know, with the directional moves that we're working on. Okay, so essentially everything is actually looking pretty good, but we are of course looking for a slightly higher push. We want to be pushing back up towards the $37,500 range after that fifth wave comes in. So if I come on back down here, this $32,000 has got that one constraint to it. Okay, and basically the pattern that I've been talking about here is a 5-3-5 pattern. So we have the 5 waves coming down towards our $35,000 to $34,000 range just there, and then we should see some kind of ABC structure that goes no higher than 37,500, and essentially that would be our wave 3, and then we'll have 5 more waves just taking us down towards $32,000. Okay, so that one goes down there. So essentially that's kind of the pattern that we're looking for. Okay, so still a bit too early to know 100%, but there's very few patterns that will start with a 5-wave move. Okay, just like that. And we know it's a 5-wave move because it is significantly down here. And we could argue that maybe we've got... No, we haven't. There's too much overlap. So essentially, yeah, we could say it was a 3-3-5, but I don't think that's the pattern either. I do think actually we've got a 3-3-5 or 3-3, and we're looking for a 5-3-5 at the end. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm expecting here on the next kind of, you know, few days to maybe a week. I don't think it's going to be fast to play out, but again, you know, these things can be quite rapid if there's a mass sell-off. Essentially, over the weekend, I'm expecting us to kind of just trade sideways. Maybe we'll hit this little original low. Maybe there will be a little bit of a relief bounce to the upside ahead of next week's kind of pullback down towards $32,000. Essentially, there isn't too much to kind of be positive about in terms of price action going up, but I would say that there's going to be some short-term opportunities with the bounce to the upside, at least on the smaller time frame. But essentially, you know, the real opportunities here come from accumulation and taking advantage of the discounts that are in the crypto space. Now, I know that this is something that a lot of people talk about in the crypto space. So buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the fear, blood in the streets, all the usual kind of sayings that you hear around about. But essentially, if we break it down a little bit further, we can, of course, you know, take a look at, you know, the true things that are going on here, right? And, you know, that is the significance of the pullbacks and what happens after. Okay, so it's whether or not you choose to believe that, you know, now is not the time to be buying, or now is the time to be buying. If we really reflect quite nicely here on what a bear market low looks like for Bitcoin is about 84%. What the initial crashes are about 69% to 67%. So on average, a bear market crash, which happens within the first 3 months of the all-time high, basically is a 68% crash on average, right? We've only seen a 56%, and we've seen up to a 51% from the all-time high here for Bitcoin. So essentially, we haven't seen the same level of crash that we would have normally, and normally it happens within 3 months. And then within 3 months, all we've seen is a 51% pullback from the all-time high, and now we're actually moving on back up again. So you know, it can be a bear market. I don't want to call it that. It's definitely a bearish phase though, and I do think that actually there's a higher probability of a move to the upside over a long period of time. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, with many altcoins at around the 85 or even greater in terms of crashes, you know, when is a good time to be buying those altcoins, right? We don't want to be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin or anything like that. It's not going to be a big portfolio driver for us. So it's not really where our focus is going to be, right? Bitcoin is just, it's the market leader. We analyze it because we want to know the direction of the market. You know, but we are not investing heavily in Bitcoin because that's just pointless. In my opinion, it's not going to make the average retail investor vastly wealthy unless you're throwing a stupid amount of money into Bitcoin. So essentially what you really want to be doing is focusing in on altcoins that have great technology, great you know, use case, great teams, and great fundamentals that have retraced from a technical analysis point of view significantly from their all-time highs, right? So normally altcoins would crash down about 90 to 95% during a bear market. Many of these altcoins now are, you know, 85 to 90% crashed. When do you want to start dollar cost averaging, right? This is the thing you got to start thinking about. You're buying effectively at the bottom of what would be a very like, well, very possible for many altcoins, a bear market low. So, a lot of people they complain, why didn't we buy, God, if we bought back in the bear market, it would have been fantastic. Well, these are the opportunities that are presenting themselves to you right now. Just take a look at the market, think about where things are, think about where things are positioned, and obviously, do you come to your own conclusion. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice. What I can say though is many of those altcoins are approaching their bear market low positions from a historical point of view and perspective, and now would be the time to really be considering what your strategies are, what you think is going to be around long term, and all of that kind of good stuff. So guys, if you want to know more about this, definitely go ahead and check out the Patreon services. We talk about the strategy of bear markets and accumulation every single week down in our Discord server with our members. So check that out if you really want to understand exactly what is going on. But I do want to kind of highlight here, now is not the time to be fearful. Now is the time to be taking advantage of this situation, in my opinion. I'm going to leave the video there, guys. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.